Welcome to another video of exploring scripts. Here I have something very interesting. Related languages, related scripts. Often in history you will see a lot of overlap. Devanagari mainly as seen as Sanskrit, and Tamil, Grantha, which is a link language between these two, link script between these two, it's not a language. Malayalam, modern day Malayalam, Vattalazhuthu, Tigalari, which is Tulu language script, and Sinhala, because it's there, it's just one right there in the same region. So let's get started and explore the various scripts, vowel, consonant comparison, and we'll see how similar or how different they are. Is there a pattern? So as you can see, these are all Devanagari letters. They look very different to the rest of the letters, but you will see, all these have derived from Brahmi, some version of Brahmi, North Brahmi, Southern Brahmi. There's a huge amount of research and debate on all of that, but we'll not get into Brahmi now. Just focus on these letters. So this is A in each of these languages, and this is A in each of these languages, and then E. And then you see for E, Grantha, Tamil, similar, and then you start seeing patterns between Malayalam and Tulu. Sinhala looks a bit different so far, and then you have U, and suddenly this whole line begins to look similar to each other, or you can understand, you can almost guess. U is not present in some of these. That's interesting. You will keep seeing that trend every now and then. Some of these sounds are there or not there, and then there is a Z sound, like there's a, instead of this symbol they put like a Z and call it A, and they have a sound in Sinhala, which is not there in any Indian language. So if you want to write cat, Devanagari has a symbol to write cat. They put a curve like this, but in Kannada, for example, you will have to write kyat and call it cat, because in English that's the word. Things like that. But in Sinhala, in Devanagari, you have symbols for that. Anyway, these are the vowels. R, r, l, l, no longer used. You can fill all of these, but there are not many words, so not many people are likely to know it or use it anyway. And these are the other vowels, the diphthongs, the A, I, O, Au, and then as you can see in Malayalam, Tamil, you have A, and then you have I written in different ways. Again, you'll see patterns, similarities. Aha. Tamil has this famous ak, and some of the shapes are really good rounded letters. And the reason why you have too many curves here is they would write on palm leaves. When they wrote on palm leaves, if you put a dot or if you put a line, if you put too many squares, then it becomes hard. It would just tear the palm leaf. That's why they tend to put more curves in all these letters. So that is why you will see more curves used. Okay, moving on to consonants. So these are the consonants: ka, kha, ga, gha, nga, cha, cha, jha, jha, nya in Devanagari. As you know, in Tamil, the kha, ga, gha are all, this same letter represents all those sounds. So you don't write that explicitly. And Grantha has got a one-to-one mapping with Sanskrit, so you will see Grantha letters for each of these. And then if you observe carefully, they borrow many of the shapes from Malayalam. But are representative of the Sanskrit sounds, phonetics from here, letters from here, meant to be a link language, so you'll see that pattern. Tigalari was more Sanskritized, so they just had the letters. So Malayalam, Tigalari are closer. They just had these letters. Sinhala also had all the letters. So it's more full. And then you see the Vatalarth, not all the letters existed. They were, look at the similarity between Tamil and Vatalarth, right? So very interesting. And because of this reason, there is a debate. Did Tamil come from another branch? Is it which Brahmi? And again, you see how Brahmi keeps coming into all these discussions. That's what is happening in the world. They are simply wondering where it came from. And there's a lot of research. Few more consonants. Ta, tha, da, dha, na, ta, tha, da, dha, na, as we say in Hindi, but here you will say ta, tha, da, dha, na, ta, tha, da, dha, na in all these languages. The sound is ta, na instead of ta, na, and that's a difference. Nepali, Hindi, Konkani, Marathi, they'll say a, and in southern Indian languages, in all these languages which use these scripts, it is ta, da, dha, na, like that. Small change, not too much of a problem, because when they read any Sanskrit words, it will come across as a northern accent and a southern accent. That accent changes because of the way they say that or a. So largely that is how it is. I like this letter shape. I just like it. I don't know why. It's just, it takes more time. Some of these letters are really nice to write, and Grantha letters are same as Tamil to a large extent. Yeah, so enjoy, practice, look at these and some more. Let's look at the other. Pa, pa, ba, bha, ma, ya, ra, la, va. And then again, pa and ma in Vatalarth and Tamil, but you have the in-between letters in almost all these languages. And then you have the ya, ra, la, va. There are different variations. Now in Malayalam, there is another ra. This is a ra and there's a ra. They have two letters for that. In Tamil, over here, ta, tha, da, dha, na. They have one na here, and they have another na which has two circles instead of three circles here. Instead of three circles, it says ana. There is a two circle na. I'll speak about that later, because many people think this na, sorry, this Tamil, I'm showing Grantha. Okay, this is Tamil. So this Tamil na and that two circles na, they think it's the same sound. It's phonetically not the same. To say this one, keep the tongue on the teeth and say na. Okay, keep the tongue on your teeth, back of your teeth, and say na. To say the two circle na, push your tongue slightly back till you find one infinity shape in the back of your mouth. If you feel it, you know, if you keep your tongue on that and say na, then that is the two circle na. You won't notice too much of a difference in how it sounds. That's probably why people think it's the same, but it's the articulation. It's called articulation, where you keep the tongue position changes. Alveolar na and dental na. So when the tongue is on the teeth, it is dental, and when you keep it on the alveolar ridge, that's what it's called, then that na becomes an alveolar na. So Tamil has two nas. All these languages have only, all these scripts have the dental na. Anyway, yara lava, again, sha, sha, sa, ha, sha, sha, sa, ha. Over here, in all these languages, Tamil, I put it in blue color because they write it after they've written their classical arrangement. They put that in the end and they say for Sanskrit words, for writing Sanskrit words, we borrowed these letters, and those are the letters we use. Guess what? They borrowed it from Grantha. They took the Grantha letters and they copied it across here. Even now, if you read some Sanskrit texts, people will recognize this shape. This is the Grantha Shah, which you can see even in Tamil books. To fill these gaps, sometimes they put P1, so this is Pa, and they put 1, or they don't put anything to say it is Pa, and then you will see Pa 2, Pa 3, Pa 4. What does that mean? So Pa 3 means Pa, Pa, Ba. To write Ba, you write Pa and put a number 3 on that. Very confusing if you are not used to it. Once you get used to it, you'll almost see P3 as a separate letter. So here's a thought. If you can look at Pa and put 3 and almost read it like an extra letter, can you not just use another letter? Just a thought. Who knows? That's not what they're doing. Let's go with the standard. We're not here to change the script, but we are here to explore the script. So that's all we're doing, exploring the script. Sha, sha, sa, ha. Then you have la sound that all these languages have, la. And this is the na. This is that alveolar na from Tamil. This is the extra ra in Malayalam that we spoke about. And then Samskrita writes kshatrajna, and you can create that in the other scripts, but they don't write it in their alphabet. That's why it's empty. Not because you cannot write it, it's because it's not written. If you ask them to write all the alphabets, they are not likely to write these 3. Whereas here, you probably see it in Malayalam, they might write it, but that's it. And then Malayalam has these extra letters, which is very puzzling to many beginners of other scripts. They don't understand what's the point of writing this. But this is very, very commonly used in Malayalam. They put ir, in, il, and this is used a lot. So this is a ra, and it's a half ra, half na, half la, half na, and half la. Although the letter looks like ta, this is nothing to do with ta. And this letter looks like sha, but this is l. And so these two are kind of exceptions. But this one, if you see, it is the in, and it is also called in. And the na, this is na, and it is in. This is ra, and it is ir. So these 3 are at least logical, but these 2 you just need to remember. This is il and il, and nothing to do with sha or ta. So that was just the combination and a small introduction to how these scripts look. This is what they are. We'll explore more scripts. Very, very simple to write these scripts. It is fun learning how to write them. It looks confusing to begin with. It's not at all. It's got a logic. It's got a flow. You will see why they write it in a certain way, and it's fun. It's fun. If you want to learn all of them, go ahead and learn all of these. But that is what we were exploring. Devanagari, Tamil, Grantha, Malayalam, Vattal, Tegalari, and Sinhala, vowels and consonants. We'll explore more letters from other languages, from other countries, other regions in future videos. Thank you.